Elite Soul Family, what's good? Okay, so I just did a little small TikTok. It's about 2 minutes. I don't even know how long it was. Let me start putting my hand down. About people who are going to contact you to tell you about other people's demise, whether it be, you know, loss of jobs, loss of homes, loss of financial stability, or even death. They're going to contact you to tell you about these other people's demise. I'm actually going to post a TikTok like I usually do, but I needed the extended version of this story for you guys to give a little backstory. Um, and you're going to get these phone calls or text messages or just news in general about these people and what they're going through. Now, these people, what they're going through is a direct reflection of what they had in store for you or what they intended for you to go through. Okay? Follow me here. So when this person calls you that you might not have a lot of contact with, and they start to explain what this person is going through, or even, I'm gonna give a backstory. So it's gonna be a story. You know it's gonna be a story. So when they call you, what they're trying to see is what your reaction is going to be to the news of these persons or people and their downfall. Because when you don't react the way that they expect you to, with sympathy or sadness or shock, they are in turn going to be scared. Because what you don't know is the person that is actually calling you, they took part in as well with the smear campaign, the talking about you, the disrespect, the talking down on your name. They took the same part as these other people, but they were more hush hush about it. They were more covert about it. And they thought or think that you don't have a clue about what they were doing, but you only know about the person they are calling you about. Get what I'm saying here? I know you get what I'm saying. People who follow me know what I'm talking about here. So let me give you a little backstory. Being that I am tuned into my spiritual self. I get messages from the divine, from the Most High, from whatever you want to call them. Okay, I get messages, and my messages 9 times out of 10 are accurate. Whether it come in a dream, whether it come in a daydream, whether it come in a message on the television, I know how to interpret my messages from God. Let me just say that. So I had called. I'm gonna spell it out. I called my mom, right? And I say to her, "You better be careful because so and so I found out is doing spell work on me." Right? She says, "Oh well, it's just hard for me to believe that. I just." She does this thing where she acts oblivious, right? So I'm like, okay, well, you don't have to believe me, but I'm giving her the rundown. Then I tell her about another person in our family, because this is family members that were doing this to me. Family members, okay? Blood family. And she says, "Oh wow, her too." And when she says her too, she kind of like says it in like disbelief, like her too, like kind of like trying to be funny, like, "Oh well, everyone's doing it to you, huh?" So I say, okay. This lasts for like a whole day. We have conversations back and forth for like maybe like a couple of hours. We go back and forth. She had to call me back. She was doing something. She called me back. I call her back. Whatever. Mind you, I did not talk to my mother. We have no contact. But I felt, because I have a heart, that it would be necessary for me to call her and let her know about this person, the first person I told her about, because they live in her house. Now, y'all, whoever watches that know me and know who lives in my mom's house, y'all do the math. I'm not doing it for you. But this person who was doing it to me that lives in her house, y'all can only guess who it is. Okay? So, and it wasn't my stepfather. Leave him out of it. It wasn't him. So, y'all narrow it down to the people who live in that house. So, she says again, "Oh, I just it's hard for me to believe about the person who's in her house. It's hard for me that she's doing that. It's hard for me to believe." I said, "Well, is this person going through health problems?" She said, "Yeah, a little bit." I said, "This person seems depressed all the time?" "Yeah, a little bit." And I said, "What about her sister?" Well, let's give it away. But what about her sister? "Yeah, she is in the hospital. She was having health problems." I said, "You know what my mom said?" She goes, "Oh my God, it's backfiring." Now, a person who does not know about spell work or dark magic, they will not use the words backfiring. That is a term used in the spiritual community when someone does spell work on somebody and they're so highly protected that the spell work backfires on that person and they in turn get what was intended for the person they get the spell work back to them, whether it comes in the form of depression, failing health, you falling mysteriously in the living room and someone has to come back and pick you up when they were on the highway going wherever they're going. Oh yeah, it happens in all little small ways. It might not happen in the way you wanted it to the other person, like one bam death spell or financial ruin, but it comes back in other ways. So let me tell you again the story. So the day goes by, and I think this is right before Thanksgiving. Now, the day after Thanksgiving, or a couple of days after, my mom calls me up. Ring, ring, ring. Mind you, I don't talk to her. So that day I called her about this particular situation. That was a rarity. I haven't spoken to her in almost a year and a half before this. So I probably won't ever speak to her again, just because. So when she calls me the day after Thanksgiving, a couple of days, ring, ring, hello. She says, "Oh my God, so-and-so died." I said, "Oh, okay." She said, "What?" I said, "Okay." She says to me, "You don't feel bad?" I said, "For what?" She goes, "She's dead." I said, "Okay." I said, "Serves her right." That's what happens when you throw spell work at chosen ones. That's what happens when you throw spell work at people who don't deserve it. That's what happens when you do dark magic on people who don't deserve it. That's what happens when you try to do death spells on people that don't deserve it. That's what happens. When you do it numerous times and you're relentless with it, that's what happens to you. You, in turn, will die. And I'm supposed to feel bad because someone who put death spells on me is now dead. You know, you should have nerve to tell me or ask me, well, you don't dabble in dark. Come on, girl. Stop. Stop it. Stop it. If denial was a person, okay? So she goes on to tell me, she says, "Well, I think you should feel bad because you know she's dead." I said, "Why should I feel bad because she's dead?" I remember specifically numerous times when this lady was putting death spells on me or whatever kind of spell she was going to this Haitian lady to do to me in New Jersey. I know who the lady is. The lady who was doing the spell work, not the person who died. The lady who was doing the spell work lives in New Jersey. She's a Haitian woman. Okay? And I'm not saying all Haitians would do spell work, but this is my story. And she says to me, "Well, you should feel bad because you know she's dead." I said, "Well, think about it this way. If this was in the 3D world where she wanted me to die and she hired someone to kill me, would you feel bad for her if someone then in turn killed her with a gun or a knife or whatever?" She then got silent and didn't say anything. She goes, "When you say it that way, I guess." Now, my mother is not no fool to dark magic and spell work and spirituality, and there's tarot readers in my family. There's a tarot reader in my family that's been in my family for years. She too was doing spell work on me because she's a jealous old bat. Okay. So when I said that to her, she goes, "Oh yeah, well, that kind of makes sense, but it's still kind of hard to believe." I said, "Okay, well, I don't have anything to prove to you. I'm not going to keep trying to prove to you what this lady was doing." But let me tell you what the gotcha is. The reason why she was so concerned why I did not feel bad for the person who passed away is because she probably had inklings about other people that were doing that to me. Not necessarily spell work per se, but talking bad about me, dragging my name through the mud. You get karma for that too. Might not be death karma, but you will get karma. Trust me, karma will come for you when you talk bad about someone who doesn't deserve it. When you tell someone's business that has nothing to, when you don't have to tell their business to other people, you will get karma. It will come back in many different ways. Health problems, bad relationships with people, different things will come to you when you are shady deliberately to people or a person when you have no right to be. You shouldn't be being shady to that person. When I mean shady, I mean being an evil person. When it's undeserved. So you have to watch out for people who run to you and tell you business about other people's demise because they're trying to see your reaction, because most likely, if you don't talk to the person that's delivering this news to you, they've said some crap about you too. They've done some crap behind the scenes about you too. And they're trying to see how you're going to react, and are you going to have sympathy for them when the shit breaks out about them that they did it to you too. Because the way my mom sounds, when I told her, oh, okay, about the person passing away, she was almost like, I can hear the fear in her voice. She said, well, don't you feel bad? Mind you, she wasn't even close to this person. They weren't cool. They didn't talk on the phone. They weren't gossip buddies. They didn't hang out. That was my blood relative, not hers. And you say, how can it be her blood relative, not yours? It was from my father's side. So it was not her blood relative, it was my blood relative. That she had no communication with at all. At all. So you have to be very mindful of people that are running to tell you things about other people that are negative, that have done you wrong, to see your reaction, because they want to know how are you going to react when it's them that gets exposed. Stay woke. Like this video, or comment, or share. Thank you.